everyone, and welcome to my March video for our December Advent Calendar. So this is my homemade layout number 3. Have you been playing along? Have you been watching? So as I mentioned, Katie and I are making each other homemade calendars this year as our homemade gift. So each day, the homemade gift day, Katie's odd days, a layout to go in each month of the year. So this month is Katie's partner's mother's birthday. So it's Omar's birthday this month. So Omar is going to be featuring with Lincoln on this layout. So as you can see, I'm creating a grid layout. I just got a little bit grumpy at myself because there's way more room on the left than there is on the right. So I just got to spread those out a bit more, doing the super accurate finger measuring there. So this layout was inspired by the gorgeous Corinne it was on her Kidaholics Kits page. She used basically the exact same collection. So she also used the Cocoa Vanilla Happiness collection, but I have snuck in a few other bits and pieces as well. So mine is not actually the Cocoa Vanilla Happiness collection. Mine is really mostly Cocoa Vanilla, but a whole bunch of different things. So I've got some midnight paper. I've got some more than words ephemera. Like I've got a whole bunch of just Cocoa Vanilla-ness happening on my page. I found all the flower ephemera in my stash one day. I was looking for something in my multicolored ephemera box, and came across those flowers, and I was like, oh, I want to use them. And then I saw the little lady head, and I'm like, oh, perfect. We don't really scrapbook very many female base pages because we both have boys. Then I'm like, perfect. I'm putting her face on. This is about Omar. In our Kidaholics kit, we got some Kaiser Craft flowers, which I really don't use very often. They're quite bulky, and I find they add a little bit too much dimension to my layouts to go in an album. But here, this is going to be perfect, so I'm popping in some of those. I just pierced a hole with the pin, and then just sticky taping it straight through to the back. Really technical. If I had have known I was going to do it, I probably would have just put it through the brown paper before I actually mounted this onto the whole white, because the white cardstock in the back is super heavy, super thick. But anyway, the little blue tassel, I'm not 100% sure that that's a Cocoa Vanilla. I think that came in a different kit, and I just had one random tassel laying around, so I was like, I'm just using it. The blue is very similar to the blue color that's in the More Than Words collection. It's just a little bit brighter than the blue, but I just decided to roll with it. Lincoln's also wearing a blue little jumpsuit in this layout, in the photo, so yeah, I'm just making it work. So I'm just backing these photos in white. You may have seen then that I put a thin layer of my fake vellum on top of the grid there. That is tracing paper. I've mentioned this a few times. Vellum is really expensive here in Australia. It's like $25 for 25 sheets, so like $1 a sheet, whereas tracing paper's like less than 50 cents a sheet, so a much better way to affordably use it. It's a lot thinner, and it's certainly not the quality of what real vellum would be, but for this kind of layering, I think it works totally fine. So just using my white glue to pin all that down, and then piercing a hole again, popping that through, and then sticking the sticky tape to seal that down on the back. You really want to make sure you do something to seal that down, A, because you don't want your flowers falling out, but B, because you want it to be as smooth as possible when going into the pocket, because these will be in plastic pockets up on display. Wait till you get to the end of the year. No, well, hey, will technically be the end of the year. That's not actually what I meant. I was thinking in my brain until we have because we're going January, February, March, April, so the end of the year. But I just meant the 12th layout. So anyway, we will give you a flick through of how it's all going to go together and how it all looks together. Basically, it's just 12 plastic pockets, 12 by 12 pockets. I got a free calendar online that I printed in 12 by 12 size. And yeah, I've pinned it all together for Katie and I. I got like ring clips. I'm showing you with my fingers here, but you can only hear me. So it will totally make more sense at the end of this month. So just, hang around until the end of the month when we do a flick through with all of our finished layouts so that you can actually see how this is going to look. It's going to be really cute, and I think it's going to be a really nice calendar, and hopefully it's something that we continue to do over, for next December maybe. With the title, the Hello Omar, so the hello is the happiness, I think it's from the Happiness Collection. It's definitely the Cocoa Vanilla Studios thickers. Because they're so black, I really wanted to include a little bit more black happening around the layout, so I just pulled a black tag from my stash, and then I pulled out the Amy Tan sort of word phrase sticker sheet. They're thickers as well, they're foam thickers. There wasn't a huge amount of those that I could actually make work because they really do have a different feel than what the Cocoa Vanilla Studios has. But I wanted to try and get a few things on just because I really like the colours and I really like the sentiment of some of those words. So I've got the hooray. You can see I've got the good vibes over there, and I really want that good vibes because it's blue. It's not quite as bright striking blue as what the tassel is, but it's helping to sort of hold all the blueness together. Also why I stuck on that blue butterfly. Again, it's actually a little bit more green, a similar color to what my scissors are, but it's still sort of helping to tie all of those colors together, which is really important. Then of course the pops of pink in the flowers are helping to soften that really thick pink Hello Omar base card as well, because that does really catch your eye. And it's okay that catches your eye. It's, the title of the page and it's explaining what's going on. But again, with this particular layout, it's hard to know whether the title of the page is sort of explaining what the month is, or is this about the photos. Often nearly 99% of the layouts I make, it is about the photos first and everything else second. So I try and make the photos be the standout, but sometimes that doesn't always happen. I find especially when I use big, large cut files that they can often dominate the page as well. And I just did a gorgeous layout that I love for my son's first birthday. Yes, I'm really behind. And I love it. I love it all. But I created a cut file for it that was exactly the same as the cake topper that I made. I don't have a video for this. And the cut file definitely dominates the page over the photos. But I'm okay with that because it is an exact replica of the homemade cake topper that I made out of fondant. So I think it's really cute to be able to, it still has a sentimental reason for being on the page. So yeah, sorry, got sidetracked from what's actually going on with this layout. I find grid layouts I don't do very often, but they're super handy for almost being easy, almost like 4 little mini sections that once you add something to each 4 of those, you're done. That's it, your layout's finished. So just popping on a flower, and then you can see I've got a little black foam heart there again, and they're all just from the thicker sheet, from the Hello Cocoa Vanilla Studios thicker sheet. Just really wanted to make sure there's that little bit of black happening on each page. I noticed as well as I went on that I didn't actually have any black down in the bottom left hand grid, so I definitely want to make sure I can get something happening over there. And then these little acrylic pieces are Corbett Creation acrylic pieces, and I definitely wanted those on, mostly just to tie that blue in again. They really helped to give that tassel a bit more purpose for being on the page, because it really was sort of a bit of a random ad for a little while there. And that tassel's just stuck on with double-sided tape because I covered the part. You can't actually see where the top loop, there is a little loop, but you can't actually see that because it's underneath the ephemera piece of the lady's head. So I just used double-sided tape to attach that. Then I'm getting out my black and gold rhinestones. I really want the gold because Omar's the only thing in gold so far on the page, so I just wanted to have a little bit of shiny colour happening there. And I was going to stop when I saw those. I really liked the gold and I was going to leave it be, but in the end I decided to pop on the black one as well, just because. You can never have too many rhinestones. And then some gold splatters. You know me, layout's not finished until I add some Heidi Shine. And some black splatters too. And once my splatters are all finished, then I've got some close-ups for you. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you are enjoying this sort of new spin or new take on our series this year. We just decided to move away from the random sort of homemade craft gifts and stick with something a little bit more usable in our everyday lives. And I'm really excited for how this calendar is going to turn out. So I hope you like it. I hope we are inspiring you with a few layouts and not Christmas-based layouts. Who would have thought in December to see layouts that are not Christmas? Thanks, everyone, and I will see you again tomorrow.